because you always want the money. So let's take it one step further. I need money. 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 So you don't get the money. You get to need money. Okay? So what you need to do is say, I have plenty of money. So now, you say to yourself, hell, I don't have plenty of money. Right? Because your brain is saying, but that's not true. Right? Well, then it's always not going to be true. Because not only do you have to do it here, you've got to do it here. And here. Most people miss that point. They get thrown into affirmations. Does everybody know what affirmations are? Does anybody not know what affirmations are? Okay, good. This is good. All right. So they get thrown into affirmations, saying affirmations that have no conceptual base for how they really feel. So when you say an affirmation over and over and over again, unless you actually have a true core belief system somewhere in you that can sort of associate with that affirmation, it's just not going to happen. Because what happens is you start saying it, and every time you say it, your brain says, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, every time you repeat an affirmation that you believe is not true. What you need to do is create the feeling. You really got to generate the feeling. Now, if I said to you, Dorothy,
Yes.
on March 1st, I'm going to give you $50,000. How does that feel?
I feel ecstatic.
Exactly. Cheryl, on March 1st, you get a brand new car.
I'm
Okay?
happy.
Yeah. Now notice how interesting that feels. Because it's all about the feeling. You've got to generate the feeling of what it would feel like to actually have the things that you want. So I don't care if it's a car, I don't care if it's a house, I don't care if it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever floats your boat. I don't care if it's a new job, if it's a new bedspread, you know, who cares what it is? Because for everybody it's something different. You know, like I said earlier, we all have the same basics that we want. We all want love, we all want to feel loved, we want to have a job we love. Most of us don't. Okay, so let's all start there. You know, we want to have a nice car, or, you know, maybe not. Maybe you just want a car for transportation. It doesn't have to be nice. Okay? So we want the basic things. But if we start to break it down and say, look at something specifically, a car, all right? If I were to ask Rachel here what kind of new car she would like to have, she might say a Lexus, okay? Now for me, my new car that I wanted was a Cadillac Escalade. Now I don't think any of you ladies were at the lecture that I did over at Interior Plus, is it? Barbara Sullivan's place over there? Interior Plus, Hip and Chic, whatever it's called. I did a lecture there on exactly this, okay? Talking about the law of attraction and doing a demonstration on how you would tell the universe about your new car. That evening, and I think that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago? Is it 3? No, I think it's 4. 3 years that I got the car.
3 years you had the car.
Yeah.
4 years, yeah.
I actually went and did this whole little demonstration, which I'm going to do for you guys. And that's what your notebook is for, by the way. So that nobody goes home and says, well, I can't start today. So you all have a notebook. And the reason why it's such a cheap and cheesy notebook, because I got them at Walmart, and I bought the cheapest ones I could find. is because the universe doesn't care what you put it on. You can put it on a napkin. It doesn't matter. But the whole idea is to write it down. Because once you take it from up here, because you can say, well, God knows what I want. But do you really know what you want? Okay? And by writing it down, you're clarifying exactly what you want. Okay? So 4 years ago, I guess it was 4 years ago, I did this lecture on this very thing over at Hip and Chic. And I said, I want a new car. So like I was saying, the beauty of it is that, you know, she wants a Lexus. I wanted a Cadillac. You might want a Mercedes. You might want a, you know, BMW. You know, you might want a Volkswagen Bug. It doesn't matter. But we all have different preferences when it comes to the basics of what we like. Somebody might like a really contemporary modern home. Somebody else might be looking for a home on the beach. Somebody might want a cabin in the woods. You know, we're all unique and different. And there's plenty out there. I mean, when we talk about the law of attraction, a lot of people say, well, there's just not enough. Everybody talks about not enough. And our economy right now is reflecting that. People are in fear, okay? And they are continuously affirming there is not enough. There is not enough. There is not enough. And we're seeing it as a mass consciousness, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. Tell Donald Trump there's not enough. He'd laugh in your face. Do you know that 1% of our population controls 96% of the world's worth? Why? I want some. And I know you want some, 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 and all of you. We all do. But we don't go after it because we don't think we can. These people know they can. And that's why the rich keep getting richer. Because they know that they can. And they have a high expectancy to have good things come to them. They have a high expectancy when they walk into a business meeting, knowing that they're going to walk out there with the deal. And it might not be exactly, they might have to negotiate, but they walk in there with the attitude that they're going to get it. And then they do. Most of us walk into a job interview scared to death, saying, oh my God, am I dressed okay? What are they going to think of me? What's going to happen here? And it's like walking into a room with a dog. The dog will instantly know your energy. The dog will instantly know if you're afraid. How does the dog know that? Because that energy is coming off of you at all times. Animals have a very keen sensitivity to it. And if we ate a little better and if we, you know, did some healthier things for ourselves, we might have that kind of sensitivity too. But for the most part, most of us are walking around like this, you know, so it doesn't really matter. But when you put that energy out there and you go into that job interview and you're questioning yourself, even though you know you're fully qualified for this position and it's paying a lot of money, and you're saying, I really want this job, it's got great benefits, it's got great packages and dental and eye and health and all the great stuff that I want, great vacation, and I can even work from home a couple days a week or whatever, we still walk in there timid and scared. Like, what are they going to think of me? Are they going to, you know, see that I'm the right person for this job? And so we've already cut ourselves off before we've even walked through the door. And we do that with everything. Everything. We question ourselves. Do you know the average statistic, and I actually read it again in one of these books this morning, is that the average person talks to themselves 60,000 times a day. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, my mouth never stops running. So, like, you know, if you started counting the words that I said every day, I guess I'd get kind of close. But yeah, we talk to ourselves, and more often than not, those thoughts are negative. So we've got to really think about what we're putting out there. and try and transform. Now I have a lovely little gift for all of you. Rachel, I think you have one of these beautiful bracelets.
I'm wearing mine right now.
I was wondering whether I would qualify, but
Why would you not qualify?
Well, that's
well, you
next.
said bracelet. You said bracelet.
Oh, no, men wear bracelets. You're wearing this bracelet.
But thank you.
That was too small. That would really hurt. You don't want to hurt you. Too bad. Not too bad. I want to hurt you, but not bad. Not really bad. I don't want to make you bleed. I'm not just bad. I'm a special bracelet. Now,
Poor kid.
these are precious. They're very, very precious. That's too tight. That might hurt you. How did you do this? Leave these out. Miss Missy, do you have a beautiful bracelet on?
I do.
Oh, so you don't need one. You've got your beautiful bracelet. Is that too tight? I don't want it to cut off the circulation. Not right now. So if your hand starts turning blue, let me know and we'll give you another one. Okay, now that you all have your gorgeous, very priceless bracelets on, the purpose of this, of having one of these, is that every time you catch yourself being negative, saying something negative, thinking something negative, I want you to snap that and snap it hard. Okay, I want you to snap it hard. That
Don't
goes
look
for
at
you
me.
too.
I'm just gonna stop watching TV now.
Now, what that does, okay, once you snap it, okay, you say something negative, you think something negative. Oh, I hate that guy, he drives me crazy. I want you to snap that. And then I want you to rub it and replace that statement with a positive one. Well, I guess he's not that bad, he's just in his own world. You know, whatever. I want you to replace it with something positive. That was probably not the best expression of that, but you know what you say to yourself. You know the expressions that you take. So when you say, I don't have enough money, or I can't pay my bills, instantly I want you to snap that. Instantly. Don't think about it, and then I want you to say, money's coming to me. I pay my bills on time every month. In full, even. Okay? And what you're doing is you're sending a neuro association to the brain that saying something negative hurts. And then when you massage it and you say something positive, you're saying to the body and the brain that saying something positive is pleasurable. Okay? Negative is painful. Positive is pleasurable. So that you continuously move towards a more positive way of thinking. A more positive way of thinking. I don't know if you were here for the beginning part. I don't even remember what I said. But we were talking about how what people say and what they do affect us. And we've got to maintain our own truth at all times. It doesn't matter what anybody else is saying, doing, being. Because people will criticize you for being positive.
Yeah,
which is astonishing.
It's all good.
Yeah, you've almost gotten shot a few times for that. But if you start telling people that, you know, you're working with the law of attraction, you're sending out positive energy, they'll tell you you're crazy. For years. I think even today my family thinks I'm crazy. And I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I know my own truth. And as long as you know your own truth, then it'll work for you. Because there are people that are going to tell you. What, you think you can make a list for a car and just get it? What are you, crazy? And I say, yes, I am. Thank you. And that's what you got to do. You got to know your own truth. And don't allow other people to persuade you. Because they will. Because they don't want to be miserable alone. Misery loves company. Okay? So understand that. And people will try to bring you down. But you've got to maintain your own space, your own truth. And as long as you can do that, and use little reminders for yourself. You know, there are certainly things that you can do. I mean, when I started with this, I would stick Post-its all over my house. All over my house, just to remind me to stay positive. Because it's hard. This is very simple, very, very simple philosophy. But it's not easy. It's very simple in that all you got to do is feel it, think it, know it, believe it. Okay? But to stay in that space is extraordinarily challenging in the world that we live in. It really, truly is. Because you will have members of your own family, your own friends, will be calling you up, you know, and you've just got to like step back, separate yourself from the madness, and look at it as Shakespeare would say, all the world's a stage and we are merely players. Rush said that too, right, in their song, Rush. Yeah. Guys are all in the same age group. We all know Rush. And that's the reality of it, is that we all have our own movie going on. And we all have our own dramas. And the drama that you engage in is going to be the energy of your life. So as long as you play that game or play that role or jump into that movie with somebody else, you're in it. If you could just step back when somebody's, okay, and say, that's their movie. I don't want any part of it. That's a crazy drama. If I want that, I'll go watch 24. You know? You've just got to separate yourself from what other people are doing. Either that or try to, you know, encourage them to be more positive. Encourage them to see things a little bit differently. Share your stories. Because what's going to happen after you leave here tonight is that you will have your own miraculous little events of the law of attraction. Okay? You already had one. I remember because I was a part of it, which is really, really interesting, and I'll share that with you guys. And this morning I got a wonderful phone call from Rachel, who's been a student of the law of attraction for the last month or two?
A couple months.
2 months, something like that, a couple of months, and transforming her attitude. But today's call was great. It was spectacular, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I will share with you some of the things that I've attracted, okay? My car being one, but that is not the first car that I've ever attracted. That is the fourth. Third or fourth? Third.
Fourth.
Something like that.
Yes.
It's getting old now. But it's great. It's great. When you finally sit down and make a list of something and have it come to you, I cannot begin to express to you, as she's got permagreen going on, how spectacular that feeling is. To know that suddenly you're in control. Okay, we live our lives like we have no control over anything. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. We have control over every aspect of our life. Every aspect of our life. And you say, well, that's not true. You know, I've got to deal with my mother, and she's just so negative, and she does this, and she says this, and blah, blah, blah. She drives me crazy. Well, you know what? She only drives you crazy if you let her. Nobody can affect you if you don't let them. It's that simple. And if you sit back and you say, yeah, but, well, I would invite you to write that down, put it in your pocket, and take it out a couple days from now when you're sitting home by yourself and really explore and meditate on that statement. Because if you start looking at the people that are in your life and the events that are in your life, you've created all of them. Even if it's by simply allowing other people to behave that way. One of the things that really is hugely important in understanding the law of attraction and creating the life that you want rather than the life that you have, okay, is, this is first and foremost, you have to, no ands, ifs, or buts about it, take 100% responsibility. Sorry, I don't write very neatly on this board. For everything in your life. Everything that happens in your life, you have to take responsibility for it. You say, well, I can't if he's doing this, or if she's doing that. Yes, you can. What is your participation? It's a simple question. What is your participation? What in you needed that experience with that person? That's a hard question to ask, because a lot of us don't want to know the answer to that. But we all have something inside of us that draws in different experiences for different reasons. And for the most part, we can look at a situation that is absolute hell while we're going through it. And say, well, I certainly didn't attract that. I certainly, am not 100% responsible for that. And I would challenge that. And say, think about something that happened in your life a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And say, what have you learned from it? How have you grown from that experience? And we can all look back at these experiences and find something good that we've learned. So we draw these experiences to ourselves for evolutionary purposes, because our natural being is to want to grow, to want to, learn and move forward. I mean, if we stay in our little stuck hole, then we might as well go back to cavemen, because we're not advancing. Everybody wants to advance on some level. If we were still the people that we were in high school, boy, oh boy, wouldn't that be a nightmare, right? So, I mean, every experience teaches us something. So, again, the first step, the very first step to understanding the law of attraction is 100% responsibility no matter what. So when something bad is happening, you say, uh-oh, what did I do? What did I say? What was I thinking? Stop. Ask yourself. Your husband blew a hose in the truck the other day, and her husband's been a student of the law of attraction lately too, because he's getting a charge out of it. He thought we were crazy too until he started seeing April, Rachel getting some wonderful things. Okay?
He was my biggest critic. Yeah, he said, I wonder why the hose hasn't blown yet in the truck.
And that day, that day the hose blew in his truck. Watch your mouth, honor your word. Watch, because now, you guys are all here for a reason. Okay, nobody shows up at these things at happenstance. I don't believe in coincidence at all. And once you learn about the law of attraction, you won't either. Okay, everything happens for a reason. So everybody in this room is here because they're ready to move forward. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. Okay? So, knowing that, we have just let the genie out of the bottle. Okay? We just let the genie out of the bottle. You can't shove the genie back in the bottle. Okay? Understand that. Because now you have a personal responsibility to yourself. Because now that you have this information, it'll never leave you. And even if you want to say, I don't believe this, it doesn't work, it's still in the back of your head. Gnawing at you, eating at you. And it will for the rest of your life. Why? Because we all hope for something. We're all yearning for something. Now, there's a big difference between hope, markers are a little funny, belief, knowing. Okay, this is step 2 in the law of attraction. This is where most of us sit, right here, in hope. We're all hoping for everything. We hope this happens. We hope God hears our prayers. We hope, we hope, we hope. Okay? Then sometimes we go into belief. Belief is something that we hope, and we really, really hope it's true. We have a belief, but we're really not quite sure. We're not certain. A knowing is absolute certainty. That's when you know something's true. Nobody's going to tell you something different. Most people stand in hope. Few move to believe. You now must know with absolute certainty. If you sit back and hope, it's never going to happen. Because your subconscious, now we're talking about 3 levels here, okay? Just as we all in psychology have a parent, a child, an adult side of us, okay? Just as in religion we have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, okay? We also have the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious, okay? Most people operate from here. Most people, in their religious aspects, operate from here. And most of them operate from either the parent or the child mode. Few people go into adult mode. Okay? Now understand that even though we're operating from here, okay, doesn't mean these go away. They still exist. You can't just wipe them off the planet. It's part of who you are. So we all can rationalize and understand that subconsciously we think things. And that's why we say things. You know? Especially when we're drunk. Things come flying out of your mouth when you had too much to drink, and you're like, where did that come from? Oops. Right? I mean, we've all been there. Let's be real. Okay, because it's here. Down here. It didn't go away. It's still there. Right? You're laughing. I know you do that. So, understand that when you're talking about the law of attraction, you're operating from all 3 levels. You're not just operating from the conscious level. So if deep down you believe you don't deserve something, you're not going to get it. Okay? There's got to be an absolute knowing. And I would tell you, go online, buy these movies, you know, go to the library. Actually, a couple of them here are from the library that I borrowed. Okay, there's also this funny little movie that came out, I think in 2004. It's called What the Bleep Do We Know? And I'm sure none of you have heard of this one. And this is, I know you have. This is all about the law of attraction too. But certainly not as marketed as The Secret was. But there's quantum physics in here too. And they talk about, you know, the energy of water, which is fabulous. You know, they talk about all these different things and how, exactly what I'm telling you right now. So if you don't believe me, go to the library, go to the bookstore, go do all of these things. I'm not telling you to take my word as gospel. What I'm telling you is that try it for yourself. Try it for yourself. When I found out about this, I made it part of my mission in life to share this with everybody I know. So anytime I get a hold of anybody, especially a client on my table, they're doomed. They're doomed.